Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Accent Training Podcast. My name is Pat. I'm your personal accent coach, and I'm here right now to do a quick exercise with you to practice the short O sound. I want to see that you get this ah sound consistently. Here's how we're going to do it. The first thing that we're going to do is look at a brief set of minimal pairs. Minimal pairs are the words that people typically mix up because there's a small difference in the pronunciation. You see, a lot of people, when they're working on the ah sound, tend to mix it up with the sound. They hold their tongue a little bit too low in their mouth, and instead of getting a full ah, they'll get an uff. The difference between ah and is all in the back of your mouth. When we get ah, I was discussing in our previous episode that we get the tongue around the center of the mouth. It's not low, it's not high, it's just around the center. When we go our tongue's a little lower down in the back, a little bit more of a relaxed, lazy sound. Versus the slightly higher position, ah. So when folks mix up these sounds, they often pronounce words a little bit differently than they mean to. I'd like you to repeat a few minimal pairs after me to get a better grasp on the distinction between the and ah sounds. The first pair, cot, cut. Repeat that back to me. Next. Lock. Tongue around the center of the mouth in the back. Look. Tongue a little bit lower down in the back. Relaxed, kind of sound. Next. Box, bucks. Box, bucks. Next words, sock, suck. Sock, suck. And two more for you. Pot, put. Pot, put. So those are a handful of minimal pairs. The key here is that you start to feel the difference between the ah and sounds. Your ears may not hear the difference yet, but if you shadow my pronunciation and perhaps make a habit of recording yourself shadowing my pronunciation, day by day, you'll start to see changes in these ah and distinctions. Now, I've got one more exercise here for you, my friends. I'm going to read out a handful of phrases, just short, common phrases, and I'd like you to repeat them back to me. I'm going to exaggerate the ah sound in each of these phrases, and I want you to do the exact same to really define this sound and this position for your muscles. Repeat after me. Hot coffee pot. Hot coffee pot. Let's hear what you got. Next phrase. Off the clock. Off the clock. Online commerce. Online commerce. Drop-off spot. Drop-off spot. costs a lot. Put on some coffee. Put on some coffee. It often is. It often is. Good job. Good job. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? And that's truly it for this episode today, folks. Just a quick exercise on the short O sound. I'm happy that you took the time to listen all the way through to today's episode, because if you want to see this sound develop into a natural habit that you do without needing to think about it when you're speaking in English, it's gonna take the kind of dedication and patience that you've just shown right now in listening and repeating the sounds back to me. Now, if you're truly passionate about this, here's what I recommend. Listen to this episode again. Listen to it a second time. If you listen to this episode a second time, and possibly a third or fourth time, and you shadow my pronunciation, you will start to see major changes in your ability to identify and reproduce these subtle sounds and movements of spoken American English. Now, if you feel satisfied with the results that you've seen from listening to this episode, here's how we're going to take it up a notch. I want you to check out the next episode down. I have a third episode for you covering the short O sound, which is going to go over a brief handful of idiomatic expressions and teach you how to use them to see that you're fully prepared to integrate this into your daily life. I'll see you there, my friends, and have a good one.